Next problem. So I'm going to ask you to find a third degree polynomial with real coefficients if two zeros are 2 plus I and 5. Okay, so let's list out our zeros. So I'm going to call them roots. So I'm going to say root 1 is 5. Root 2 is 2 plus I. What's root 3? 2 minus I. You got it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of work backwards and find what gave us these roots. I'm going to find what gave us these roots. Well, the 5 is pretty easy, right? Because this is x equals 5. So what was the factor that gave us that? X minus 5. Okay, now what I'm going to do, because remember, I want real coefficients. What does that mean when I want real coefficients? I don't want any i's. I don't want any i's. I need real numbers. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use sum and product to find the factor that gave R2 and R3. All right, so we know root 1 plus root 2 will be negative b over a. So we're going to have 2 plus I plus 2 minus I. Let's keep simplifying this down. The i's cancel. So now we're going to have 4 is equal to negative b over a. So we'll do 4 over 1. Well, what does this tell us? This tells me a is 1. What's b? Negative 4. Since negative b is positive 4, positive b will be negative 4. All right, now we're going to do the product of these. So we're going to say root 1 times root 2. That's going to give us c over a. So now we are going to be 2 plus I times 2 minus I. In the front, what's your name? David. David, could you use that shortcut that I showed you here? Yeah. Right. If you want to FOIL this out, you can. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times negative I is a negative 2I. I times 2 is 2I. I times negative I is a negative I squared. Catherine, right? What's negative I squared? You got it. So the i's cancel, and then we're just left with 4 plus 1, which is 5. This represents c over a. So now I know my a is 1, my b is negative 4, my c is 5. These are the coefficients for the ax squared plus bx plus c. So what does that mean? We are going to have x squared minus 4x plus 5. All right, and what did I ask for? I said find the third degree polynomial with real coefficients. Are all my coefficients real right now? Yeah, with real coefficients if the two zeros are this. So what is my factor is going to be. I'm going to have the x minus 5 times x squared minus 4x plus 5. We can leave it like this. I'm okay if you leave it like this. If you were to multiply it out, it would have gotten you x cubed minus 9x squared plus 25x minus 25. All right, do I care which one you write? No. There's our third degree polynomial. Okay, can we try another one? Let's do this. Is 2 plus 3i a 0 of x cubed minus 2x squared plus x plus 6? What do you think the best way to do this problem is? What do you think the best way to do this problem is? I'm asking you, is 2 plus 3i a 0? Question mark. Catherine?
Should you use synthetic?
Yeah, we're going to use synthetic. And what happens if our last column comes out to a 0, then it's a 0. If it doesn't come out to a 0, then it is not a 0. So let's do that. So we're going to use synthetic substitution. We got 2 plus 3i in our box right here. Is every exponent counted for? Yes. So we have a 1, negative 2, a 1, and a 6. Bring down that 1. 1 times 2 plus 3i is 2 plus 3i. What happens with the 2's here? They cancel, so now I'm just left with 3i. Distribute in that 3i, so we're going to get 6i and then 9i squared. What's 9i squared? Negative 9, you got it. We add, we're going to get 6i minus 8. Guys, at this point, do we really think this times this will ever come out to a negative 6? It will never come out to a negative 6, this times this. So can we stop here? Absolutely. We can stop here and we can say no, because the remainder will not equal 0. Okay, next one. All right, find the polynomial with zeros of 4 and 2 plus I, and P of 1 is equal to 5. Okay, so I'm giving you some of the roots and I want to find the polynomial. I'm not going to be too concerned right now about that P of 1 is equal to 5. That's sort of like an end of a problem. We sort of deal with that later on. Let's just focus on getting the polynomial right now. So I'm working with the roots. I know one root is 4, I know a second root is 2 plus I. What's the third root? 2 minus I. What do you think I'm going to tell you we should use? Sum and product. You got it. We are going to use sum and product. Do we all agree that the factor that gave us the 4 as the root is going to be x minus 4? Okay. Now we're going to use sum and product. Use sum and product to find the factor that gave R2 and R3, root 1 and root 3. Root 2 and root 3. All right. Sum is going to be root 1 plus root 2, which is negative b over a. So then we are 2 plus I plus 2 minus I, which gives us 4. So our a is 1, our b is negative 4. We still have to find c. So now we're going to do root 1 times root 2, which will give us c over a. So now we're 2 plus I times 2 minus I, which is going to end up being 4 plus 1, which is 5. What does this tell us? C is 5. So, knowing A, B, and C, can we find the factor that gave us root 2 and root 3? Yes. What's it going to be? X squared minus 4x plus 5. But now be very careful. We also have x minus 4. So P of x equals this whole thing. But there was another part of this. What was the other part of this? P of 1 has to equal 5. What does that mean? I'm going to go to my polynomial, and I need P of 1 to equal 5. So when I plug in 1, I need to get a 5 out of that. If you plug, I'll tell you right now, if you plug in 1 right now, it's not going to give you 5. What does that tell us we need? We need a GCF sort of in the front. I'm going to call that A. So now I need 5 to equal A times, and now I'm going to plug in that 1. 1 minus 4 times 1 squared minus 4 times 1 plus 5. So now we're going to have a negative 3a times, what's all this in here? 1 squared minus 4 plus 5. So then we'll have negative 3 plus 5. So where 5 is equal to negative 3a times 1 plus 1 is 2. So then where 5 is equal to negative 6a. And when we solve for a, we will get a is equal to negative 5 over 6. So now what is our function going to be? P of x will be negative 5 over 6 times x minus 4 times x squared minus 4x plus 5. Do we need that negative 5, 6 in front? Yes. All right. I wanted to give you one to try on your own, but I guess that there's not enough time for that. We are done.